If you believe that this is just the beginning of the gold rush, then the Gold Miners ETF from VanEck is a must-have in your selection of ETFs from the Core Selection. So, the ETF with the ticker GDS is included in the GDXJ Core Selection. This way, you save a bit on transaction costs, but of course, there are other costs as well, such as the annual ongoing charges, which aren't exactly cheap, but also not extremely expensive. At this moment, for the next 6 to 12 months, this could indeed be a very interesting ETF for price returns. However, keep in mind the cyclical movements with sharp price drops in the short term. In this video, I'll show you some fundamentals, including when we can enter or exit positions. The latter will be based on a bit of technical analysis combined with the momentum we're going to observe. First of all, let's talk about the content of this ETF. We see a total invested capital of $1.8 billion. That means there is plenty of liquidity, so even if you have large amounts to invest, you can probably put your money into this fund fairly worry-free and get your money out relatively quickly. By large amounts, I don't mean tens of millions. At that level, it might be a bit less liquid on a daily basis, but certainly a few $100,000 per day is relatively little for this kind of fund size. All positions. You should always research the positions within ETFs. And if we look at some of these stocks here, well, I don't know countless of these stocks, but the more popular Newmont Corporation is currently a very interesting individual stock. So, it makes up 12% of the assets in this fund. Barrick Mining is, of course, a very well-known one. It does have a lower percentage, and we see that the total top 10 holdings make up quite a significant portion of this fund. So always pay attention to that, of course. The top 10 allocation. Look at the price-to-earnings ratio. With a PE of 20, that's definitely on the higher side. The book value is also starting to rise significantly. That's naturally due to the strong momentum. If the momentum drops, then you have a problem. That's why we need to come up with a good strategy for investing in this ETF within the GDXJ Core Selection. We see that the majority are large cap or mid cap stocks, with a bit of small cap as well. This is the ticker KDX. You also have the ticker GDXJ. The J stands for Junior, so then you have the VanEck Gold Miners Junior, or I should say Gold Junior Miners. So, that concerns relatively smaller gold mines, and here you have the relatively large gold mining companies, so keep that in mind. So, a full position in stocks, not in the underlying value of gold like you can get with the popular ETF GLD. That is actually the kind of underlying value of the gold price. Here, you're really investing in gold miners. These are real companies. Real companies that you can research. Real companies with people in leadership positions. So here you can do much more research, but no matter how you look at it. This ETF will follow the same gold pattern as the gold price. Because the gold price is of course very important, and if the gold price keeps rising, then this ETF will benefit even more from that, because the gold price creates a kind of leverage on the profits of gold mining companies. Keep that in mind. That's why a downward movement will also be much stronger when the momentum shifts again. Here on the screen, we see the rating assessment from an algorithm for this ETF, and it has already been rated as a strong buy for quite some time now, compared to countless other ETFs within the sector. At the moment, this ETF ranks number 25 out of more than 3,000 ETFs. Well, this ETF also happens to be part of the GDXJ Core Selection. And we can actually see that this has been the case for quite some time. But here too, we see that it has been a strong buy and a buy signal for a while. And yet, the ETF starts to decline here. So pay attention, because this is no guarantee of success, and momentum is a very important factor in this algorithm if the momentum shifts. Yeah, then you're left empty-handed. At any rate, not a box of gold. So be careful with the risks you take. This is not suitable for beginner investors, because this is a very cyclical ETF. More on that in a moment. So momentum is a very important factor. What's interesting is that the momentum over the past 5 years has actually been pretty poor. Just compare this to other ETFs we've shared on our channel. But the momentum over the past 6 months, as you can see, is actually almost equal to the total 5-year return. So especially in the last 6 months, there's been a very strong momentum going on, which means two things: either the gold rush is behind us and most of the returns have already been made, or there's still one last push left, and that's important for timing your entry and exit, which we'll discuss in a moment. First, the costs, which we've already discussed. Here you see slightly different data. This is probably a different ETF, but it's around 0.55%. That's not nothing, but on the other hand, try to keep transaction costs as low as possible. And so you really need to achieve a high return. And by definition, this is not for the long term. ETF, because gold isn't interesting as a long-term investment, especially not when it's already gone up so much. You also shouldn't do it for the dividend. You see poor dividends. The dividend yield is 0.8%. Yeah, of course, this isn't a dividend ETF. The standard deviation is very high. That means significant price fluctuations. In a moment, I'll show you, images speak louder than a few numbers. And indeed, here you see another liquidity, so this is a slightly different ETF. But here you see even more liquid assets in it, right? This pattern is the same as the other ETF, so don't worry, the data is correct. Because when would you want to get in and out? Well, actually, you should get in when a sector like gold or commodities has just gone through a long downward cyclical movement. That was a while ago, namely in 2015. A significant drop back then. So the best entry points come when the stocks have, of course, fallen a lot from a very high point. Everyone knows that, but still, for many people, it's particularly difficult to actually apply this process. And why not? Because you get it. Everyone can see this in terms of content. It's not rocket science. It's about a process that takes years. So you get in 2011. Just imagine. And for years, so by 2016. 5 years later, your capital is down 75%. Does inflation still eat away at it? Yeah, then you're obviously completely done with it if this goes on for 6 years. Your capital and probably your confidence have both taken a hit, and that's really a shame. This is why people lose money, because the time you should be getting in is actually right after such a big drop. What you often see happen, and I know the feeling very well, is that an ETF, for example, has already dropped by 66% in 2 years. You think, yeah, this has to be a golden opportunity to get in. And then you get in and you think, hey look, I'm a fantastic investor. I'm up 30% in just a few months. What an amazing insight for me. And what happens? After that, the momentum starts to fade and 2 years later you're still down 30%. So this is the downside of cyclical investments, where you're really mostly dependent on supply and demand, and not so much on a catalyst like profit growth. That's why I personally much prefer to invest in stocks of companies that create a certain market position based on strategy, allowing them to consistently achieve higher profits than their competitors, which means they're actually winning the long-term game. And sure, everyone knows examples like Apple or Amazon, but personally I enjoy specializing in lesser-known companies where you have to dig and dig and dig, until suddenly you find a hidden gem and think, hey, hardly anyone knows about this yet. Interesting business strategy? It just might work, of course. High risk, more uncertainty. You know how it goes. But if it works, then you get long-term profit growth and you won't see these kinds of patterns as often. Still, there will always be cyclical movement, so keep that in mind. A 40% drop for this kind of ETF is nothing at all. So what could be going on? Well, this is a different scenario than in 2016, and even then it wasn't particularly high, but especially, interest rates were low around the period of 19. Interest rates are starting to creep up again now. Inflation remains high. There is still some uncertainty because of the rising valuations. So gold has gained momentum, and it's quite possible that this momentum will stick around for a while. But even in the short term, so on a monthly basis, you can still see drops of 20% or even much bigger, like over 40%. Or on an even shorter time frame, for example. Yeah, exactly, in just a few weeks it could easily drop by 10%. What could happen? The momentum is really strong right now. Personally, I don't invest in gold. This isn't my sector. It's just not my thing. The long-term historical average return of gold is around 6% or lower. That's not interesting to me, but it could very well be that you're a more active investor. We've seen that this ETF has strong momentum if your assumption, or well-founded assumption, is that gold is going to rise even more in the future, so the gold price will go up. Then this ETF could maintain its momentum and maybe even keep rising, for example up to the last all-time high, which would be about a 25% return. That would be over the next probably 3 to 6 months. What could happen? Two things. Either here. This beautiful line indicates a resistance level. That means the price level basically keeps hovering around this top for a longer period and then starts to drop. And then it can drop very quickly. Often, This is triggered when there is less favorable news for gold. Or, there could be favorable news for gold, and it keeps rising, breaks through the all-time high, and then it could grow even further. In that case, if that happens, I would set a stop loss after it breaks through the all-time high. Then you have a plus 25%. That profit is locked in anyway. If it keeps rising, you just let the winner run, and you can always take profits later. I just don't know for sure what's going to happen here. It's an interesting setup. So, it could still go up further. Personally, I think there are many more interesting ETFs with lower risk and more long-term profit growth. I've shared that, and I share it monthly in my own portfolio updates. So subscribe to us if you want to follow that. But here we do see an interesting case with gold. And maybe, yeah, investors will have a few good years and maybe a really long bull market is about to start.